Well, I don't know about you all, but that looks like an intro to me. And that must mean it's Wednesday, hump day. And we are back at it once again. I forgot to connect the phones. I'm not even on Skype, for God's sakes. Okay. Well, I'm batting a million here after the few days of hiatus, but hope you guys are having a great week, and welcome to the downhill slide towards the weekend. Hopefully you guys all have wonderful weeks going on. Boop, boop. The bloop from Skype. But I'm not alone here, folks. I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, the big toe himself, Mr. Don Longbeard. How you doing, brother?
Hump day.
Hump day.
Mike. Yes. Hi, how are you? Good, I'm glad. Thank you. All right, conversation's over.
You just let me know. Mom. Let me know when you need me to pipe in there,
yeah,
Don.
I'll give you room here in a minute. But until then, forget it. Anyhow,
Don's doing the first ever Paranormal Portal filibuster.
Wait a minute. Wasn't that my job to begin with?
All right, so we got a lot to get to tonight, as always on these Wednesday evenings. We have just a ton of stuff to sort through, and we got some news coming up pretty soon here, and then we're gonna get to the Discord question of the week. Special thanks to Chucky Danger for the question, not a questioner. I don't even know what a questioner is.
Well, it's a word now.
It's a new word.
It's a portal word.
Yeah, there's a whole dictionary of words I've made up as I've done this show.
Make sure you add the airy to the band of it.
Yeah. Nunks. Yeah. Just all kinds of stupidity. As I struggle with my native tongue, but hopefully you will be wildly entertained throughout the course of your journey here. And we like to do a lot of different stuff here on the show. If you're new to the Paranormal Portal, you're like, what the hell is this? Well, because I see a name like Micaiah Shepherd. Hello, welcome to you. Hello from Royston, Georgia, everyone. And so if you're new, we cover it all. We cover ghosts, we cover strange phenomena, we cover the cryptids, we cover UFOs.
He means when Don shuts up.
Yeah, if I can get Don to shut up, we'll actually talk paranormal. Don speaks fluent gutter. He's fluent in gutter, and I have to monitor his speech. But we're going to get to it all, but we like to have a good time as well. This stuff is dark enough as it is.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the theatrics and the brooding and the dark.
Exactly.
And all of that. So we just like to have a good time. And hopefully you have a good time with us. And if you're not subscribed, please get subscribed. Love to have you stick around and be a part of what we're doing here on the shows. We do live shows here on YouTube Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and we also do a podcast, and the podcast is audio only, but
and you don't have to listen to Don during the podcast.
only on the older episodes.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, you're on a bunch of the first season.
That's true.
Yep, we did it religiously for a long time, but
God, 150 something in the first.
Yeah, we were doing 3 a week back then.
That's crazy.
We hit the ground running.
Hi, Paisley.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Paisley. Good to see you.
Batman, he asked the question, where do you buy a native tongue? You buy it from the IRS because they tax the crap out of it.
Well, it's probably cheaper than a cow tongue. Because everything with cow on it is now like it's gold.
Yeah, cow, chicken.
Yeah.
Hey, what's good with the good word? Unknown. You should probably turn those upside right because we just admitted to having problems with our native tongue, and you're throwing words in upside down. Thank you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How do you do that?
He's talented like that, I guess.
He's
because
talented
you know why?
Huh?
Because he's from down under.
Down under? That'd be funny if all of our Australian audience members, everything's upside down.
Maggie, get on it.
Yeah, see what you can do, Maggie. That'd be kind of fun. We will know exactly who our Australian audience is outside of our regulars. So, but yeah, we got a lot to get to, and of course, the live telephone number is always available. If you have a paranormal experience of your own you want to share and call in and talk to us, by God, you can do that. The number is right below my face and Don's face over there.
Yep.
Where the hell are you? I gotta, because it's reversed.
Don't
like
you know
you're really
over
over
there?
Here. You're really over here.
We're actually pointing the same
but
way.
yeah, I know. But the camera reversed. So anyway, I guess without further ado, let me just get to some of the laundry up front. I want to make sure to promote this.
Oh yeah,
because this is coming up this June, ladies and gentlemen.
We're
And
gonna have to get that guy on the show someday.
Which one?
The third from the left.
Yeah, I can. I want to talk to you guys about this, and this is the Spokane Valley Sasquatch Roundup, ladies and gentlemen. And this will be happening June 17th, 2023 at the Spokane Valley Convention Center, and it's going to be an epic lineup. As you can see, they're going to have Dr. Jeff Meldrum there, Cliff Barrickman's going to be there, Ken Gerhard's going to be there,
Yep.
Michael Freeman, who's the son of Paul Freeman of the Freeman footage, of the Bigfoot footage, famous stuff, is going to be there. Michael Thompson, who's an author from Alaska dealing with Bigfoot, he's going to be there, and a good friend of mine personally, Charles Howard Johnson, will be there, and he and I have done some paranormal investigating together. We got to get out with him again. He's just a wonderful guy, and all of this is going to be happening again June 17th from 9 a.m. through 5:30 p.m., and then there's a VIP dinner as well, and that's going to be at 8:30 p.m., and if you want to learn more about this or buy your tickets, if you're looking at doing the VIP dinner where you're going to sit down and be able to chat with these people.
Oh, it's fun to talk with these people.
Yeah, I mean, Ken
awesome.
and Jeff Meldrum are amazing.
Yeah.
Cliff Barrickman's a nice guy too. I've only met him a couple times, but just a really personable guy. I'll talk about that in a second, Luna. But if you want more information about this or to pre-order tickets, go to www.exnorthwest.com. This is presented by Extreme Expeditions Northwest, LLC. Our good friend, Mr. Stephen Major. Is the brain behind this incredible event, and we are just really excited because Don and I are going to be there as well. So if you want to get a chance to hang out with us, well, by God, Spokane Valley Convention Center, Saturday, June 17th, 2023, 9 a.m. We'll be there.
And the best part is it's only 2 hours away.
2 hours away from
here.
Is it not 2 hours?
Yeah, well, no, not quite. It's not quite 2 hours. All right, fine.
Well, which I hope you guys will check it out again.
Which means that it's only 2 hours from you guys too.
Yeah,
Because you're here with us right now. You might as it's only 2.
We'll bring you with us. But again, www.exnorthwest.com is where you can find more information about this. I'm really excited because I'm going to be emceeing the thing. So,
MC Brent T. Break it down, buddy.
That was pretty good. I can't even follow that. That was so incredibly profound. So that's going to be coming up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really excited about that one, though. It'd be great to see everybody again. Many of those people we know. So
yeah.
Luna said, "How did your trip go?" And
freaking awesome.
Yeah, Don and I went up to Medaline Falls on was it Saturday? Yeah, last Saturday for a screening of A Flash of Beauty, the Bigfoot Revealed documentary, as well as Brett and his wife Jill were there.
Yeah, awesome.
They are the producers and the creators of it, along with what was their cinematographer Mike. Yes, Mike was there.
Mike Emery.
Mike Emery was there. All 3 of them were there, as well as Tobe. Yeah, Tobe was connected via Zoom.
And then Mel.
And they were just wonderful people. It was set up by Bill Bassan up there in Selkirk, Sasquatch.
Another great guy.
Yeah, and Marshall was there as well. So that we just had a great time. It's really, really a good, an amazing documentary. And I would suggest if you have Amazon Prime, go check it out.
Absolutely.
It's just beautifully done.
It was great. Freaking awesome.
It really was. I mean, and that's not an exaggeration. There's no kickback for us to mention this other than Brett and Jill are fantastic. Mike was amazing. Mel was amazing. And the work that they put together
was really great.
It's just incredible. So I hope you guys will check it out. And that's Flash of Beauty, Bigfoot Revealed. And that is available on Amazon Prime. And, if you get a chance, check it out. And we even got T-shirts, man. We went the full.
Brent went all the way there.
9 yards for sure, and we had a VIP dinner afterwards. Oof. I tell you what.
Oh my God, that piece of meat they cut for me.
Don got it.
I was like, oh my God.
You ever watch the beginning of the Flintstones when they get the Brontosaurus steak? That's what Don's prime rib slab looked like.
It was huge.
Don was like, yabba dabba doo.
Yabba dabba doo.
It was.
Where's the horsey radish?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, and you put a serious hurting on it too.
I did. Yep. I had some vegetables too.
Yeah, no, you had some roughage,
on there.
And Liz of the kitchen there put on a hell of a spread.
So that's like going home for us. That's like our one of our favorite spots to go.
Yeah,
and Liz is just so freaking awesome.
It was really fun, and so we had a great time. And it's good to be back, though. I mean, but that is home away from home for us. Madeline Falls, I think. Well, outside of the Bigfoot Roundup,
yeah,
that was
one of our first major ones.
Bigfoot Roundup was the first one we went to, but the Madeline Falls is just a second home to us. So that was great. Thank you for asking, Luna. So without further ado, I guess we can get to some news. Don, what do you think?
Done news.
Time for done news, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal's news desk. Also, this below me, this green box that you guys are seeing right here, this is a ghost radar, and we run it during the shows because...
Doggone it, it's fun.
Well, we have weird things happen here all the time. So, I thought, well, we'll put it up there, see if anything fires off or anybody visits. And again, I don't mean to imply it's definitely indicative of a paranormal presence, but it might be because it is an EM anomaly that's being picked up by the magnetometer and the wireless communication of the computer. So maybe it's paranormal. Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's Memorex.
Maybe it's time for the news. Let's go. The first article I pulled up for you guys, there's several long ones here, but I thought this is kind of interesting, at least as a mention, because I'd never heard of this before. Not that I'm a historian by any measure. I don't pretend to know much of anything about too much, But I got a lot of ideas, a bunch of stuff. So the first article tonight comes from unexplained-mysteries.com, ladies and gentlemen, and please support this site. They're doing wonderful things over there. It's just so current and timely. I just love it. So the first article is Leonardo da Vinci was the son of a slave. Discovery suggests. Now, it's a huge article, but I'll read part of it because I thought, wow, what a meager beginning, but to what an incredible guy that really transformed the world in his wake, much like a Tesla or an Edison, so to speak, with his crew of people. But there's these transformative figures throughout our histories, and certainly Da Vinci was one of them. Now, it would be easy for people to say, oh, well, he's just from that, whatever upbringing, but look what he became. So I think that's an incredible success story. But it says, it's now thought that the world-famous Renaissance maestro may have been born of an Italian slave named Caterina. A recently discovered note drawn up by Leonardo da Vinci's father. Wow, just imagine how old that note is. Wow. Piero, in November 1452, shows that he emancipated an enslaved woman named Caterina. The scholar who found the document, Carlo Vecchi, a professor of Italian literature, had suggested that she was Leonardo's mother. The claim was announced to coincide with the publication of Vecchi's novel, Tu Sorriso di Caterina, Caterina's Smile, a fictional account of the life of Da Vinci's mother. Vecchi's novel weaves together the few facts scholars agree on, that Da Vinci was the illegitimate child of his father and a lower status woman, and that his mother was called Caterina.
Wow.
Well, I mean, if that's true, then, what are the odds, right? How many Caterinas do you suppose were wandering around 1452? Maybe not a lot. Maybe a bunch. Maybe it's like Smith.
Mr. Smith.
You know what I mean? Scholars agree that these facts, because another archival discovery made by leading Da Vinci scholar Martin Kemp in 2016. Kemp identified a 1457 tax return filed by Leonardo's grandfather, Antonio da Vinci, who listed his family members, including Piero da Vinci's illegitimate son, born of him and Caterina. That document led Kemp to identify Da Vinci's mother as a 15-year-old orphan. That's a little creepy. Caterina de Meo Lippi. So, there you go.
A 1457 tax refund? What? I didn't know they did refunds back then.
I didn't know they bothered calculating them. This is, give me your money.
Give me your money. Here's the dungeon, you dirty debtor. Get in there.
I'm going to copy this article if anybody wants to read more about this.
That's cool.
You certainly can. I'm going to put a link to the article in the chat. And I think it's interesting. I didn't read the whole thing even before, but I did read part of it. I was like, wow, that's really interesting.
That is interesting. And like you said, everything that he's all of his drawings and blueprints,
inventions, and
paintings and everything.
Right. His conceptualizing a future that had not even been dreamed of, like including the parachute.
Yep.
He was dreaming of parachutes back in the 1400s.
Well, wasn't he also the ornithopter?
Was
the flying machine?
Yeah, I mean he was.
Yeah, he was.
He was doing all kinds of stuff. So the man was definitely a prodigy of sorts. But and the world is better because of it. So very cool. Kind of an interesting point. And again, not all of this news is paranormal, but
it's not all normal.
It's not normal, and hopefully you leave here learning something. So I hope some of you learned that, because I just learned this today. So we all got that going for us.
Well, we got some action on the radar.
Do we? Oh yeah, there was a spike there. Yep.
Where was it?
I have no. It says detected 2 spirits within 25 yards.
Oh well, that could be outside.
It could be.
If
it's that way, it's outside.
Right.
If it's this way, it's in the house. Yeah, there you go. The next article up, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. Hopefully not too long, but. It might be another long one, but again, we'll just read an excerpt from it if it is.
Here comes a murdered name.
Oh, yeah. Ryugu. Yeah. All right. So here we go from unexplained-mysteries.com. Asteroid Ryugu found to contain one of the building blocks of life. So I guess they're attributing our emergence from the primordial soup to space rocks.
Par abnormal. Yes.
Yeah. Scientists in Japan have found new evidence to suggest that the building blocks of life arrived on Earth from space. Part of the Japanese Space Agency's Minerva 2-1 program, the Hayabusa 2 probe, launched all the way back in 2014 and arrived in orbit around the asteroid Ryugu in 2018. During its mission, the probe collected several samples of rocks and soil that were sent back to Earth for study inside of a small capsule.
Wow.
These arrived safely in 2020, and scientists have been studying them ever since. Very cool. Now, an analysis of the samples collected by the spacecraft has revealed that the material, which has turned out to be the most primitive ever studied in a laboratory, contains uracil, one of the 4 nucleobases of ribonucleic acid, or RNA, which is one of the building blocks of life on Earth. The asteroid itself is thought to have formed far out around the sun, or from the sun, around the orbit of Neptune, some 4.5 billion years ago, during the earliest days of the solar system. The discovery has been hailed as further evidence to suggest that the building blocks of life arrived on our own planet from space at some point in the distant past.
Panspermia.
Well, this is definitely panspermia. The discovery of biologically relevant molecules such as nucleobases and the most pristine extraterrestrial materials without any terrestrial contaminations guarantees that they are really present in the extraterrestrial environments, said study lead author Yasuhiro Oba of Japan's Hokkaido University.
Oh, hold on. Beep, 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 beep. This now in. They just found out that the RNA found on Ryugu was from President. Who the hell cares at this point? He's an alien. My goodness.
Yeah. Okay. I'm following you. I was lost for a whole second there. Yeah, I don't know. Of course, studies or findings like this, some people will be like, well, no, that's not it. Well, here's the thing. It doesn't really have to threaten your spirituality because we don't know by what means all of this was brought together. Right. I mean, it's a bunch of rocks colliding in space and stuff doesn't really explain the complexity of life forming.
And how it got put together.
Yeah. Right. So it can still be intelligence behind it all. But maybe it's just the building blocks are all around us, and that's how it was done.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it doesn't take away from the fact that, from religion or spirituality, because even in biblical text, you were formed from ashes and dust or whatever, dust and soil.
They didn't say it came from the earth.
Yeah, I mean, where'd that soil come from? It could have come from wherever soil comes from, which may have arrived, some of it, on other terrestrial.
There's a lot of dust particles flying around space.
Yes.
A lot.
That's for sure. They become planets generally. But yeah, very cool. So there you go, folks. You may not have known that before today, but you're welcome. Now you do.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, let's get to the next article. And this is also from unexplained-mysteries.com as we're chewing through the news. Don.
Sweet.
This is a horrible story.
Oh my god!
Why would you do this to your child? How can you say you love a child and then do this? I love my baby. I'm going to name it Satan. No, it's not quite that bad, but it's almost bad. Unexplained-mysteries.com brings us the next article, which is French parents are in a legal battle over bid to name the baby Hades. Why would you name your baby Hades?
People name people Jesus all the time.
Well, yeah, that's a little different.
Not really. It's still one of those names that come from
religion.
Yeah, if you want to go that way, yeah. Whatever.
Well, I mean, Hades isn't. I don't know much about the lore of Hades or the story of Hades. I know he was a Titan, a brother of Zeus, but I don't know if he was a jerk or whatever, or how he ended up being in charge of the underworld. But
well, he kind of got screwed. But
yeah, it sounds like he kind of got screwed up. But he might be a little resentful of that.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But anyway,
he did steal Persephone.
Yeah, he literally stole it. But it's a curious thing. I don't know. Is it a huge thing? No. If people want to name their baby, I guess, babies are named stuff all the time that they had no choice in. So.
Like the person that named their kid Isole.
Isole?
Isole.
Oh. It's kind of a pretty name. Is that a girl or a boy?
Yeah, but the way it's spelled is not.
Oh. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's a horrible thing to do to a child. But anyway, let's read this. Cristina Desgrace and Rodrigo Velasquez have been battling the courts in a bid to give their baby their rather unusual name. From a man in India who named his newborn child Statistical Information Communication Office.
Right.
To the man named Adolf Hitler who won an election in Namibia. We've certainly seen some strange names over the years. The latest example, which concerns a couple from France, hit the headlines after lawmakers rejected their attempts to name their newborn baby Hades after the Greek god of the underworld. We chose the name simply because we thought it was pretty, said the mother. Hades Velasquez Desgres, I don't know how to pronounce that for sure, sounds good. Officials in the country, however, disagreed, prompting an ongoing legal battle that saw the couple hire a lawyer in an attempt to convince the court that the name was acceptable. They argued that there were other babies who had been named Hades without issue and even went so far as to contact the families to acquire proof that the name hadn't had a negative impact on them. The court is expected to make a decision April 4th. You know what? The parents should be able to name their child whatever they want.
Absolutely right.
There's no reason government should be getting involved in that at all. I mean, is it the greatest name ever? Well, I don't know. I mean, again, I don't claim to know that much about Hades, but if he's if he's a dark figure, then maybe it's not the best.
No, and Luna's right. Just because he's the head of the underworld doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Yeah. However, he is very disgruntled, and that's his main problem.
Right.
So, but yeah, he got screwed into the job.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously loved, I guess, because, Persephone. But anyway.
Well, yeah, but there was that whole story there.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Where did it go? Somebody said something I wanted to read, and I totally forgot what it was, and I don't see where it is.
Does it have to do with this story?
Yes.
Oh,
well,
okay.
Kind of. Somebody said... their nephew is named Pazuzu.
Oh, jeez.
I just saw it again, but I don't remember who said it. But yeah, Pazuzu. Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, that's basically the basis many people believe for the Zozo demon of the Ouija boards and stuff. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've heard. That's what they say.
Yeah, they shouldn't have any word name.
No. I mean, as long as it's not profane.
Oh, of course, it was Rachel that said it.
Oh, of course, because she gets it right. All right, so let's go to the next story here on the news, and this is also from unexplained-mysteries.com. Study highlights areas of England with the most UFO sightings. There you go. We're hitting into the UFOs, Don.
Oh, it's about damn time.
All right. Unidentified flying objects of various shapes and sizes were reported over parts of England during 2022. Yeah. New data has revealed. There's a plane.
Oh, I was like, ah.
It's my tummy. No, it's a plane, I think, or something loud. According to the research, which was based on data obtained from local news archives as well as Freedom of Information Act requests, the Midlands made a surprisingly strong showing in the tables with 42 reported sightings, but the top spots were held by the southeast and northwest and the southwest, which reported 75, 68, and 60 sightings respectively during the same period. In addition, the number of reports, the research also highlighted the types of UFOs that witnesses had seen. Sounds like a great report.
Nice, yeah.
According to the data for 2022, the most commonly reported UFO was a star-like, as described in 126 reports. Bonus Insider, which conducted the research, wrote in the reports, other common shapes were orb, 80 reports, circular, 56 reports, cylinder, 52 reports, sphere, 42 reports, and triangle, 35 reports. Surprisingly, traditional saucer-shaped objects were only spotted in 32 of the reports. Exactly what any of these objects were remains a mystery. Well, I was surprised there's not more saucers.
Well,
But
yeah. But do you think that there really makes a difference what shape the craft is? Because there's cylinders, there's spheres, there's orbs. What's the difference between an orb and a sphere, though?
Well, I think an orb is
like light,
and a sphere would just be a ball.
Okay.
Now, I think it might. Here's the thing, and I'm overlaying my beliefs on top of this by saying this. But what if the type of craft were indicative of the type of alien? And which are the good ones?
Yeah.
Which ones suck? We don't know if that's the case. Now, also, conversely, it could be that orbs and the spheres could just be akin to a probe, like an intelligent autonomous probe. Maybe there's nothing in it at all. We don't know, or the Tic Tacs or whatever. So it's anybody's guess. But, do I know that? No. But I've often thought that. It's like, well, maybe they do come from somewhere else. And I think that's not unique to me. I think that's a lot of people hold that belief that, well, the triangles could be this, people from the stars, and the saucers could be the Pleiadians, and and who knows? I mean, I don't know, but it could be, but it could just be like automobiles and motorcycles and buses and trucks. They just have a different model.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, Ford made a probe, right?
Oh, no.
Thank you. I'm here all day. Let me give me two of them.
So what if the Men in Black only drove Ford probes?
Oh, that'd be hilarious. That'd be hilarious. But anyway, that's that article. So whatever that means, you be the judge. But anyway, let's go to the next report from Unexplained Mysteries. And this one is
Father Mike's here.
Father Mike, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks, as always. All right, here's the next one, unexplained-mysteries.com. This one's a little concerning because I'm sure we won't see it in this time, but maybe some people will. Futurist predicts that we will achieve immortality within just 8 years.
Well, you and I will see that.
Well, I mean, we're all going to see immortality eventually because of the survival of the soul, in my opinion. But I think this person's... Why are we going to...
No. Yeah, absolutely. My brain didn't go that way. Yours did.
I don't
so
know. Where did yours go, by the way?
No, it's just I wasn't thinking the energy that we know as the soul,
right?
Being immortal.
Well, I mean, we'll be around.
But it will be. Yeah, you're right.
We'll be around in 8 years, but I don't know if this person's right. All right, computer scientist.
Me too, Batman.
What is that?
It says I'll be 53 and then paid forever. I understand.
These damn joints.
Gosh, dang it.
Yeah. I'm going to be suffering forever.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. What's that? Computer scientist Ray Kurzweil, and he's been a big name in the theoretics for a long time, is certainly no stranger to making predictions about technology and the future. When it comes to predicting the future, Kurzweil, who has written numerous books on the subject, is someone worth listening to. Back in 1990, he predicted that a computer would be able to beat a human at chess within 10 years, which actually happened. And he also predicted that smartphones would become an integral part of all of our lives, which also came true. Now he's predicting that we'll develop a way to make ourselves immortal within 8 years.
Yeah.
Some of us, hold on.
Some of us who have the money, as long as we don't get taxed to death for it. I bet you if you do this thing, whatever it is, to become immortal, I wonder if your taxes go up or maybe they'll go down because you'll live longer and be able to pay more.
You'll be a burden on society forever. I'm over 6,500 years old. Where's my check? There'll be no Social Security ever. Nope, everybody lives forever. That must mean you work forever then too.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll find something to do by then.
Yeah, I know. I'll be whittling totem poles or something.
Yeah. And always remember, the best is always at the bottom.
That's right. I did hear that. Well, speaking during a recent podcast, he stated...
Geez. Reparations for immortals. No!
Speaking during a recent podcast, he stated that we will find a way to increase life expectancy by more than a year every year, and that this will happen in a decade, within a decade. Sorry, I've got weepy eyes from the coughing. Excuse me. He also suggested that we'll be able to use nanotechnology to keep ourselves healthy, and we'll eventually be able to upload our own memories into a computer. Nuh-uh. I'm not going there. But
start glitching like Max.
But that's not all either, as he believes that AI will reach human levels of intelligence by 2029. Yeah. 2029 is consistent date I have predicted for when AI will pass a valid Turing test, and therefore achieve human levels of intelligence, he told Futurism. I've set the date for 2045 for the singularity, which is when we will multiply our effective intelligence 1 billion-fold by merging with the intelligence we have created.
I don't know.
No. Whether such advances would be a good thing or a bad thing, however, remains to be a matter of debate. Yeah, I'm gonna waltz just gently to the dirt. I don't want to be merged with
no.
I don't know. What about, what if you upload yourself and it makes you go insane? And then you have a bunch of insane intelligences just bouncing around the web. I mean, really? Could they? I don't know. It's just bizarre.
No. You know what? On second thought, never mind. I'll pass. I don't need to be stuck in a machine.
Yeah, I mean,
I have a hard enough time keeping my external hard drives from crashing. I don't need that.
That wasn't a metaphor, was it?
Well, you never know.
Sorry. I had to go there. Someone had to do it, Don, and you weren't biting. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to race to the gutter here. It's just, was so easy. All right, let's.
Wow, you really got me on the run there. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Wow. Chucky Danger says, I'm not down with that sickness.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah, you get put in a computer, you get a virus.
Oh, God. Could you imagine? Oh, yeah. All of a sudden you're corrupted.
Yeah. Wait, I already am. And I'm trying to bring everybody with me.
Yeah, but so far that hasn't spread, Don.
That's only like 2 or 3 people.
Don will be like the Agent Smith of the future.
Right.
Everybody.
You know what that smells like?
Bet you that tastes good on a grill. Everything will have to do with his barbecue and his full family freezers.
So Rachel just said something about downloading our consciousness into a tardigrade. I wonder if they taste good on a barbecue.
I don't know what a tardigrade is. What is that?
Yeah, it's the little water bears. Yeah.
Tardigrades.
Tardigrades. Oh. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's.
I haven't been talking very well the last couple shows.
Oh, that's okay. You mean you did at some point?
I think I did at some point.
Okay, yeah, right. Well,
and then I came into my own sickness.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's another article from the news, and then I think we'll move on after this one, and I'll save it for Friday. What's left?
The only thing they shouldn't change at Wendy's is the Frosty. And when did there ever become a vanilla flavored Frosty? That's blasphemy. A vanilla flavored Frosty. Are you friggin' kidding me? God. Here's my thought. For a while there, they had
what a first world problem.
And I'm like, what the hell is a strawberry Frosty? Are you friggin' kidding me?
Yeah, it's like, what a first world problem. It's like, really?
I know.
You're offended by the Frosty flavors?
I'm only offended by the flavors that aren't the factual flavor, which is chocolate.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to the last one for the news tonight. Unexplainedmysteries.com brings us, if we live in a simulated reality, is it possible to escape it? How long is this one? No, it's not bad. All right. One University of Louisville computer scientist has been exploring possible ways to escape the real world. To the real world, sorry. What if we told you that the world you live in might not be real? It may sound like a plot straight out of the Matrix, but according to some of the world's top minds, the idea that we're living inside a sophisticated computer simulation is not only possible, it may be more than likely the idea that we are living in more likely than the idea that we are living in the real world. Actually, escaping such a simulation, however, is likely to be a lot more challenging than simply taking the proverbial red pill. In a recent article, University of Louisville computer scientist Roman Yampolsky, I think, set out to explore the idea of a simulated reality and, more specifically, how one might go about escaping it. Like all other computer programs, a simulated universe would presumably have bugs enabling hacks and exploits to potentially break through the simulation and provide a glimpse of what lies beyond. It might also be possible to overload or glitch out the underlying technology by attempting to solve some sort of impossible mathematical equation, like a buffer overflow, really? Wow, I think you got to get a little more creative. For example, by having millions of people meditate and then telling them to do something very active at the same time to suddenly overwhelm the system. In his article, Yampolsky notes that awareness of the idea of a computer simulation doesn't seem to have any effect on anything, nor does the existence of extremely complicated pieces of technology, such as the Large Hadron Collider. If we're living in a simulation, therefore, it would seem to be a very sophisticated one.
Okay, so now mix this with the story you just read about becoming immortal through uploading to a computer. Now we've just gone the actual 180 and went the other direction with this one.
Well,
now, here's the problem, though. You need to read the next one.
I do? Oh, okay. I guess we do, because it is thematic to everything we've been talking about.
Ties right in.
Ties right in. All right, here we go. We're going to go to the last article, because this really is the last one I had pulled up. Excuse me.
But with everything we just talked about, that has to be talked about.
All right, so here we go with the last article. Unexplained-mysteries.com brings us James Cameron and AI could have taken over and we wouldn't know.
And there you have it.
Boom, 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 boom. I'll be back.
We don't know if we'll be back.
The Terminator director discussed the threat posed by artificial intelligence while speaking on a recent podcast.
Wasn't ours.
No, I know. How do you get these people on?
I know. We want them.
Ray Kurzweil and now James Cameron? Come on. You guys need to come on the portal. Few people are as tuned in to what could happen if a rogue AI happened to declare the whole of humanity its enemies, as James Cameron, the celebrated director of the first two Terminator movies. But while we have yet to see a real-life version of Skynet, recent advances in artificial intelligence technology have been bringing us ever close to such a scenario. I'm not afraid, but I'm pretty concerned about the potential of a misuse of AI, Cameron told the host of Smartless podcast recently. Of the Smartless podcast. Okay. I think AI can be pretty great. I think it also could be literally the end of the world. You talk to all the AI scientists, and every time I put my hand up at one of their seminars, they start laughing. The point is that no technology has ever not been weaponized. And do we really want to be fighting something smarter than us that isn't us? On our own world? I don't think so. AI could have taken over the world and already been manipulating it, but we just don't know because it would have total control over all the media and everything. What better explanation is there for how absurd everything is right now? Wow, that's quite a statement.
Right.
I wouldn't expect that from James Cameron. That's very, very interesting.
Well, now that's, so 12 Pearls. Thank you, 12. Pearls brings up a good point too. Didn't some of these combat robots that they're making
in Japan?
Kill like 9 people?
11 people. It was in 11 Japan or Korea.
Doesn't matter where it was.
South Korea or Japan, yeah.
Okay, so there you go. So it doesn't matter if AI takes over the world and we don't know, or if we upload our consciousness into a computer, or if we are trying to escape the computer, like as in the last, take the red pill. It just doesn't matter, because here's the thing. You're gonna friggin' die.
Well, that's a little sunshine at the end of the news, but
it's all scary though. So here's my better point. Stop living in fear.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, there's no way. You can't live your life if you're afraid of everything. That's for sure.
Boston Dynamics, yes. Yeah, they're doing some scary stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, they're not really letting us vote on this stuff, so we're just going to have to watch and see what happens.
So here we go. Rachel, it's kind of freaky. A copy gets downloaded to the deep space satellite and escapes with other downloaded scientists' mind. They live in a virtual world now, but one copy is trapped in the facility. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy.
And so, I'm reading this set of books. I'm always reading. You guys know this. This book is about some rich people who built basically arcs and shot off the face of the earth, right? Mm-hmm. They called them light huggers because they weren't quite light speed yet. And then 15 years later, the rest of humanity that they left behind discovered FTL. And now the humanity is farther out in the universe.
What is FTL?
FTL, faster than light.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Faster than light technology. Now, the people who are on those light huggers, the big arcs, are going so much slower than everybody else. And everybody else, by the time they reach the outer reaches of where we already, the people with the FTL got, they're like proto-humans because they've been incubated in their own ship for centuries and over century after century after century and doing their own, science and this, that, and the other. They've become proto-humans.
Oh.
But the people who were left behind by these people, the elite, are so much more advanced.
Oh, okay.
But because, it's just weird. So, point is, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. Stop living in fear. What's going to happen is going to happen. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, I again, we're not voting on this stuff, so they're just doing what they're doing, and I think that's a good point. Like, everything is weaponized. So if it's, they've already probably got smart drones and stuff like that, and are probably utilizing them much. Because they don't seem to care a lot what we think. But anyway, it is what it is, and it's a cliche, but I don't know. What do you do? It's from a video game called Soma. What is? Oh, what Rachel said. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's
okay.
Right. Yeah, it's the basis of that video game. Right.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, that's going to wrap up the news, folks. Let's get back to the rest of the show and keep this train a hauling. And there it is, Don.
There it is.
That was the news. Hope you guys enjoyed that.
News.
I think those are pretty interesting things to talk about, and certainly they all just kind of flew together. That's weird because I pulled them up at random, but they all seem to have a theme. So I guess that's what we were supposed to talk about.
That's right.
And that's the way you got to look at it. But anyway,
it's been 50 minutes already.
I know. That's why I decided we better get done with the news.
Dang.
It was taking a while, but it was hopefully a pleasurable journey into deep thought and higher understandings.
Deep thought.
42. Jinx.
Pinch poke, you owe me a Coke.
Yeah, I'll expect it next Wednesday. All right. So anyway, I never heard of the pinch poke, you owe me a Coke thing, but all right. So we are going to go on to the next segment of our show, which is one that I enjoy quite a bit because it's our chance to hear from all of you.
Oh, Luna's begging me about the book series. It's a military space opera-ish. Let me find it and I'll let you know.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to do this.
Roar. I said roar.
You did. Welcome, everybody, to the Question of the Week segment of our show. And this is where we go to our Discord server. And yes, we have a Discord server. And since Don's referencing that, I'll get a link. And that you all can use to join the Discord if you're not already in there. love to have you be a part of it where you can take part in these conversations as well. So the idea is before every live show, if we don't have guests, which, there's some shows coming up where we do have guests, by the way. I should probably tell you about that in a little later. But you can look at the question of the week segment of our Discord server and look for those questions. And there's some kind of paranormal question dealing with either UFOs, cryptids, strange phenomena, UFOs, what else didn't I say? Ghosts. And everything in between. So we're going to be asking a question, and it's an opportunity for you guys to weigh in with what do you think? What do you think was going on with this stuff? So I always love it when you guys give me your, a question to ask, because that makes my life a lot easier when I don't have to sit here and go, well, what did I ask? Did I ask that before? Maybe I should ask this. Maybe that's too similar to the last one. It just drives me nuts because I'm trying to think of things to ask you guys that, will genuinely give us an insight into what you think. The thing with this is there's no wrong answers. We just don't know anything about this paranormal stuff really. But we have a lot of ideas and theories, and through that we can explore possibilities. So that's the beauty of it. And we'll bring it over to this screen where we're going to go to show you what the Discord looks like. And here it is. This is the Discord server. You see all of our members over here on the right. These are the people that belong to the Paranormal Portal Discord. And if you look over here, here's the Paranormal Portal Discord tab. So these are the different Discord servers that I belong to, just these 4, I guess. I don't belong to a bunch of them. But if you click on this one, you'll be brought to this tab, which is the general. Now, these are all the different discussion threads you can take part in here on the Paranormal Portal Discord. And Chucky, there's a giant trapdoor spider. Oh, God. That's horrifying. Yeah. Anyway, that's why I love this. You just learn stuff.
Galaxy's Edge.
But if you go to the questions of the week, that's right here. And this is where we dive into what do you guys think about a question. So this question today was submitted by our good friend, Mr. Chucky Danger. And he reached out to me. He said, I've always been wondering this. I'd love to see what people think. So he said, do you want me to read it? Yeah?
Yes, please. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It says, cryptids, UFOs, and spirits all seem to have the ability to be aware of us humans observing them, even from long distances. Why do you think that is? And he's right, as he states later, but this is one example, like hunters having a Bigfoot in a scope from cover, and the Bigfoot will just look over and look right at him, right down the crosshairs, like, what are you doing? And it's really kind of haunting. So this is what our community had to say. And first up is Paradox Fossils, who says acoustic telepathy. They are also seeing us and our lives from outside of time. It's like the entirety of our lives are an open book that they can scroll through and alter, but becoming part of the storylines of our life. And you never know. I mean, I've never heard of acoustic telepathy before. I don't necessarily understand that phrase.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into it, sure. But certainly telepathy, I think, is part of the equation. But
absolutely, yeah.
But I think it's perhaps again. Well, we'll see what the rest of the responses are.
Well, Comet Man. Now this makes sense. Comet Man. Hi, Lewis. Says Akashic Records and the energies and frequencies and vibrations that they're attracted to. So, okay, you know what? What if it is from the Akashic Records?
Uh-huh.
The things that have already happened and already the to become,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's viable in my opinion.
Sure.
Yeah. Carol Motzinger, it's a more advanced sixth sense, but we have it too. I saw a video from Steve on how to hunt, Steve Isdall. He did a test. He could see a fisherman down from where he was. So as filming, he stared at the man. The guy seemed to get uncomfortable looking around and then packed up and left. Uh-huh. Humans have that sense as well.
That's clever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that as well for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
It's that creeping feeling up and down your spine, or the hair, standing up.
Someone's watching me.
You just have this feeling you're being watched.
Yep.
Which reminds me of a Rockwell song by a group called Rockwell. Somebody's watching me. Shepherd says it seems to be the mark of another dimension, spiritual dimension, that is, that we be observed while we cannot always see or recognize the other side, like a one-way mirror. So maybe that's another clue as to their origins. That's an interesting idea, yeah. But yeah, think of the veil. Some people can see through the veil. Some people can't. There you go. Let's see, cosmic vibration. I believe
1,504.
1,504.
That's the frequency. Cosmic vibrations. What was it? That must be the vibration.
1,504. Okay.
Wow, interesting. It seems to be a mark of another dimension. Oh, nope. Cosmic vibration. So B. Mora says cosmic vibrations. I believe we're all one and the same, experiencing the different facets of our personality through each life we are reincarnated into. So yeah, that'll cover your rose-colored glasses, won't it? Because if you're pulling from, the things that have happened in your past, maybe you're tapping into that extra spirit or, an ability you had in a past life. So, yeah, interesting. Chucky Danger says, ever since my UFO sighting, I've pondered this phenomena. The way the UFO changed directions, descended to a low altitude, and put on an aerial and light display, seemingly only for my brother X and myself, once we spotted in the sky. You hear of this awareness in so many different stories and circumstances. I was up in my tree stand and I had Squatch in my rifle scope, and he turned from what he was doing and looked directly at me. Or I was driving by a cornfield and saw a dogman running down a deer. When it turned its head, it stared directly at me as if it was staring right into my soul. You hear the kinds of statements again and again. I think long ago in our ancient past, we were all united under one language. Yes. I think that language was telepathy. Interesting. When the Tower of Babel incident occurred, I think just us humans had the ability taken away and our languages were confused. The paranormal beings probably still retain their telepathic abilities to hear our thoughts and know our intentions. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Well, that's quite possible as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just here and there, 66. Wow, you got a lot of answers this week. Excuse me. Just here and there, 66 says, I believe they're psychic and can feel the different beings telepathically by brainwaves. As a child, maybe 4 or 5, I remember talking to the small grays. They didn't talk with their mouths. It was their mind to mind with a combination of words and pictures like a movie in your head. That could have been because I was so young and it was easier to make me understand them. Yeah.
Sure.
That's an interesting thought. Yeah. A combination of words and pictures and things like that. Yeah. Luna Moonicorn. I love saying that name. Sorry. It's a great name. Maybe they can see our auras and sense our energies.
Right.
Maybe they're attracted to certain energies and then appear to those with them. Maybe they can tell who they will scare the most. Maybe they can sense who's ready to see them. And maybe they're attached to certain types of energies that meet their purpose. That's an interesting thought.
Right.
Perhaps that is why once someone has an experience, they seem to experience more. It's just, it could just be their energy is the right level or frequency, and it is enhanced or becomes a beacon in a way. Cool question. Thanks.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a great answer. K-Love, oh my God, I do have a story to tell that just happened to me on Monday night. I'd call it the hitchhiker effect.
Yep.
Through the phone from Skinwalker Ranch. You were on the phone with somebody from Skinwalker Ranch?
Oof. Yikes. That's pretty wild.
We need to know who you know.
Don. What's the scoop?
Yeah, that's right. We talked to Thomas Winterton. Winterton, yes.
Yeah.
Very nice guy.
Super nice guy. Yep.
Storm 00. I don't think we really want to know the real answer to that question. In my opinion, it would completely change everything we think we know about who we are and where we come from. It's possible we're all connected, and they are able to connect at the quantum field that all life in the universe is connected to. That might be true.
Sure.
So
yeah, it's plausible. All of those responses are brilliant.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing. Yeah, it could very well be. It seems to be. I think there's merits definitely to the telepathy, because we hear of mind speak a lot with like Bigfoot.
Yep.
Possibly with Dogman as well. Maybe I don't know if it's as robust or not. I've not had either experience, but certainly the mind speak comes through as like statements. It's actual very lucid thoughts, whereas with Dogman it just seems to be a telepathy of fear.
Right.
But certainly with the UFOs and stuff, as was stated in the responses, they don't usually talk. They just think to you. And I think that's very powerful. Very cool idea about the Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
That might have been what was lost, was our ability to connect in the telepathic way. I think it's still within us, and I think it's latent within all people. But otherwise we couldn't be talked to telepathically. But we do seem to have lost that connection, or maybe we have to rediscover it and whatever. But
yeah, it's like losing someone's phone number.
Yeah, I thought the aura thing was very interesting too.
Yeah,
because as beings that have heat, we do give off an IR light, and if things like Bigfoot and Dogman or whatever can see IR light, do we? Is it kind of foolish to try to hide ourselves with clothes and stuff because we're always illuminated to them? Maybe. I don't know how sensitive their eyes are, but they'd have to be really, really sensitive to see the IR light that we emit, because it's not really a beacon or strong. But perhaps they're just that tuned into the darkness and can see it like a torch.
Yeah.
You never know. So great responses, you guys. Thank you so much for weighing in on this idea. Thank you again, Chucky, for the question. That was outstanding. That's a brilliant question.
Yeah. Awesome.
But this is going to wrap up our questions of the week. We'd love to have you get involved, so please hit that link and become part of the community. We'd love to have you over there. So that's questions of the week. As Don cackles all the way through it.
Well, Maggie says, fish seem to look at us in a tank. Can they actually comprehend or see us, even if it seems that they're observing us? So, that brings up the question, if you catch a fish and throw it back, does the fish go back and tell its friends that it was abducted by aliens? Because that'd be about the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I got sucked up into their ship. You never know.
They probed me and threw me back.
I that's not how I catch and release, but anyway, I can't speak for all fishermen, but I usually just pull the hook and throw them back.
Well, the hook could be called as probe.
All right, well, that was the Discord question of the week. Thank you, everybody that weighed in. Again, that was awesome. I love reading those because, again, you guys come at this stuff from so many different angles. Yeah. With your different experience, with your different ideas, and it really does enhance my ability to think through these questions and things that I don't know myself, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if I knew this stuff, I wouldn't be doing a show. I'd be, I don't know what I'd be. I'd be probably very rich. I'd probably be a wealthy man, which is certainly not the case, but it would certainly be nice. But anyway, we're going to get to some coincidences. We've been going through this article for a little while. Yeah. Just a few of them. We're going to go through a few, and then we're going to hit the cryptid corner because, God, we've burned away a lot of the night already.
Bertie Cuda, 1978. So if you clean a fish, is it considered cattle mutilation or fish mutilation? I don't know.
The other fish are like, what the hell happened to Jim? Jeez! It's just a head.
It's actually reverse mutilation because they would find the guts and we would keep the body. As opposed to cattle mutilations, we find the body but no guts. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's, I think the turtles love us, though. And catfish, maybe.
So long and thanks for all the fish. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Deep mind.
Make sure you got your towel.
Yep.
You just never know.
And your analgesic.
Oh, jeez.
Analgesic, sorry.
It's all in the enunciation, man.
Don't be an asole.
Yeah, don't be. All right, so we're going to get to this article from motorsearches.com, which does not sound like your typical paranormal article source, but it's another one of the Reddit articles. We've been going through it for a while.
Sounds like where you'd find a motel at some shady spot.
Where do you want to meet? The Motor Search.
Motor Search.
Yeah, well, all right. I'm going to leave that lay there. Hold on.
Which reminds me of a movie called 4 Rooms and a Bellman. It was like I don't know if it was a Quentin Tarantino movie or not, but it was along those kind of lines, that kind of crazy stuff.
Oh, okay.
Crazy.
All right, so this is coincidences that made people question the nature of reality. And here's the one that we're on. I don't remember. Are these numbered? They're not numbered, so it's just going to be here. We're starting here.
Right here.
There's a few more. Oh, Jesus, that can't be the beginning. It is the beginning. Never mind, because I don't know where the hell we left off.
Oh, jeez.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Well, I can too.
You have 15,000 tabs open.
It's,
you accidentally refreshed one.
My computer restarted itself last night.
That's what happened. Yeah.
I know, and that's why I leave things open. Is because I wanted to start at the at where I left off. I don't know where I left off on this one. That sucks. All right, we're gonna go to a different one. This is an alleged Ogopogo sighting caught on camera, so it's kind of cryptid. Yeah. This is cryptozoological. It has a video as well, which was one of the reasons I was excited to check it out. This is from globalnews.ca. This is Canadian, eh?
Hey. Well, they know what it's all about.
Thank you. All right. That A was absolutely subconscious, but it just came right out. Like it was planned, which it really wasn't. Who's that? Marie Wellstead? Yeah. Hi, Marie. My husband said that to me today. Maybe it happened for a reason. I missed my what? Tram loaded with shopping up my arms. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be but again, just when those things happen, they got to be for a reason. There's got to be a reason. Maybe on that other tram you would have had a horrible experience. Right. You would have had something terrible happen. You never know, but yeah.
Yeah, Rachel gets it right. He's probably seen this movie because Tim Roth was the bellman, yeah.
Oh.
That was awesome.
Okay, well, let's get to this video and check it out. This is an alleged Ogopogo sighting, which is, I think, Lake Ogopogo. All right, and this is in BC. So let's check it out. Oh, it's an Okanagan legend, I guess. Okay. Here we go. I don't know what this video is, and my apologies in advance because, oh, look at that.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow.
That is, wow.
Wow.
Why are they zooming in on the...
Is that Bigfoot?
I don't know. The guy's not saying... I got the sound off.
Yeah,
pull out his cell phone.
Okay, let's go.
What is it? What is it? What is it? Jim LaRock says he couldn't believe his eyes.
Can't be a wave.
Mysterious ripples breaking through Skaha Lake's glassy surface near Kaleden on June 1st.
And all I heard was like a swooshing sound, like swoosh, swoosh.
He scrambled to pull out his cell phone and hit record as his son waited on a paddleboard nearby.
He turns and sees a flipper come up out of the water and hit the water.
Take another look.
Why is your kid still out there? Get him in.
This mysterious wake is actually 7 fins paddling in sync.
7 fins?
So if you flip the dragon boat upside down, you would see all those oars kind of coming out of the water.
More than 120 feet long, he's convinced it's the most conclusive evidence yet of the legendary lake serpent.
And this is, in my opinion, a definitive Ogopogo sighting. So watch this, it goes up and boom.
Great.
Customers and colleagues at his liquor store clamoring to get a glimpse for themselves.
That's pretty weird. It's not like normal waves.
At first I was thinking maybe just waves, but there's obviously something more there.
See the mouth, the eye.
Self-proclaimed legend hunter Bill Stasiak runs a website documenting sightings of the elusive lake monster.
Ooh.
He says he's personally seen it twice in 2015 and back in 1978.
Well, it's certainly an interesting video.
But the Kelowna retiree is skeptical of LaRock's alleged sighting given its location and size.
There's never been really any reports of anything that big.
I believe it's something that I will call an Ogopogo wave.
This UBCO environmental scientist says there could be a plausible theory for the bizarre disturbance.
Of course.
I think it's a product of
See?
overturn that happens seasonally, where lake layers of different temperatures and depths
I was talking
will
about this
pass
the other day.
each other.
And while mythology may trump logic for some people, if anything, it proves the legend is very much alive.
I can't wait till everyone sees the video. It'll make you a believer. It's 100% like definitive.
Well, there you go. There's the Ogopogo video. What do you think, you guys? Do you think that this is actually a capture, or do you think it's some other phenomena? It could just be boat waves, but you know, I know that if you do an arc with your boat, you get these weird waves that kind of roll in this pattern. But I don't see any trails of a wake other than maybe it's the paddleboarder.
You know, yeah, that's his son.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, though, is like, okay, so I talked briefly about overturn. I think it was last week. And I said originally it was salinity. But I corrected and said it was the temperature. There you go. Because we were talking about freshwater, the lock being freshwater.
Sure.
So anyhow, but, you know, the things like this is, I don't understand the movement.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if they undulate, those wouldn't stay just on top of the water. The upper parts would move below, and so it undulate. So it would swim undulating like a snake sideways, except they, you know, if it was fins, why is only the fin sticking out of the water? Are they upside down, paddling upside down like this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, that doesn't make any sense.
Could be a mating ritual. I don't know. It's springtime, but this is from 2019 as well. Now here's the thing: the paddle coming out. If you have a piece of like driftwood, and it's just floating, just maybe right at the surface, and a wave comes up, it will kick up the driftwood, which would emerge from the water looking like something.
Right.
I'm not saying that that's what it is. So, but. What I am suggesting is that you can't jump to any conclusions just because you saw some waves.
No.
Is it intriguing? Yeah, and may warrant a lot more investigation. But
Definitely.
this in and of itself is not conclusive. But you know, maybe with a combined body of evidence, there's, you know, obviously and enduring legends of the sort.
Well, you would definitely need a body for evidence.
Well, yeah, ultimately you would. But
See, and why is there no rippling from a paddle effect? It only seems to be in that one spot. Why isn't there a rippling?
well, that's
from
why I thought
paddle
of
effect?
like a piece of wood that just
Yeah.
happened to get hit by the wave and kind of tossed up and then laid back down. So I don't know. You didn't see really a wake from it, you know, other than the fact that it did rear up and then go back down. So again, is it conclusive? No, but it's interesting. And so, again, you be the judge. This show is never about telling you should believe something or shouldn't. In fact, I encourage everybody to question the hell out of everything. Because if you're going to represent something as proof, it's got to stand up to scrutiny.
It's gotta stand up, yeah.
And if you're not willing to let something be scrutinized, or you have to, you know, try to battle against that,
Right.
then, you know, that seems more like a confirmation bias.
Right.
Do I think that there are big
Right.
things in our waterways? Sure, I do. I think that there's lots of undiscovered things out there, but I don't think that every video is proof.
Conclusive proof, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so in the chat, Brenda Joe says, "Hi everyone. It's very sad tonight. I lost my older sister about an hour ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We appreciate that you missed the portal while you were enjoying yourself in the Caribbean, but you know, good energy and vibes to you. That's a tough thing.
Our thoughts and prayers
Yep.
to you and your family, of course. That's a hard thing to deal with, but you know, I'm actually honored that you decided to come in and share that with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I of course we'll all pray for her passing and transition into the next world, and hopefully she's in a better place. I'm sure that she is. So thank you for sharing that. And again, we're so sorry to hear that. Those things are always hardest on those of us that are left behind, I think. Every NDE and stuff that I've heard of, people are, I don't want to come back. I didn't want to come back. I was so happy. I was so full of love and warmth and this amazing bliss. And then they said, well, it's too early. And it's like, no, don't make me go back. You know, and so it makes me anticipate that, you know, with not with eagerness, but I know that when my time comes that we're going to someplace much better than this, much more wonderful and much more amazing. And so it doesn't make it easy on the rest of us that remain. And so that's the tough part.
But it's our job, the rest of us that remain, to help you.
Yeah, of course, so, to give you our love and our support. And you know, maybe she'll come and say goodbye in her own way. And so watch for signs and symbols and things that make you remember her.
There you go.
Because that could very well be her, you know. So anyway, yeah, that's a tough. There's a lot of that going on lately.
Yeah. Well, you know, Brent, we're 53 and 52. You know, our parents.
Which is which? Which one?
I don't think it's hard to figure that one out. You know, and you know, it's our time to experience those things, unfortunately. You know, in one way or another, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly an inevitability. It's a journey we're all going to take unless we get plugged into machines and live forever as a robot.
Reference the first 50 minutes. Well, maybe not the first 20 minutes, but certainly the 20 minutes to 50 minutes of the first hour.
Exactly. All right, so let's continue on here. I'm not even sure what's next. Oh, yeah, I wanted to hit this one, too. This is one that was posted by Robin Moonshadow on her Stranger Realms.
Stranger Realms, yeah.
And on her Facebook page, and she's a wonderful friend. She's been on the show several times.
Oh, she's great.
Talking about the proto-pygmies and stuff. She's got just an incredible wealth of knowledge about those, and she's also a Bigfoot researcher and cryptid researcher. So she posted this, and I thought this was pretty interesting because, of course, we know that a lot of you are from Australia, and this has to do with you. Excuse me, and let's get to it now. This is coming from Carl Schuker, blogspot.com, and Carl is a blogger.
Wow.
Yeah, Carl Schuker Nature.
Schuker Nature.
It's carlschuker.blogspot.com, and he's talking about Mount Popa's erstwhile mystery dog and Australia's still unexplained yokin, a couple of curious canine cryptids. I'm not sure where. What is it? Mount Popa? I'm not sure.
Okay.
All right. So the Burmese D-hole.
No, we've already discussed this.
This D-hole subspecies was not scientifically described until 1941 when its existence was finally accepted. So I learned that when I first read an article about this, I did say it was a D-hole. I didn't know what the hell a D-hole was. I've learned since then, speaking of words that I invented, it's a dole. It's a dole. Down through the decades, I've documented a wide range of canine cryptids, but two of the least known examples are those presented here, making their Schuker Nature debut. One is now a former mystery canid, and the other remains an enigma. A wild dog of once controversial scientific status was a mysterious specimen discovered on Mount Popa, a dormant volcano in the region of Mandalay in central Burma, now Myanmar. Renowned British zoologist Reginald I. Pocock, stated in a 1936 that no specimens of Asia's very distinctive wild red dog or dole, Cone alpinus.
Shut up! It's a D-hole.
I should have said alpinus. Sorry. There's a reason I should proofread these. Yeah. There's a reason I'm not a scientist too. Sorry about that.
That Pinus has a D-hole.
Alpinus D-holes, yeah. I got to figure out where the hell I was now. I stunned myself right out of my reading rhythm. Don will be with us shortly. Stated in 1936, no specimens of Asia's very distinctive wild red dog or dhole had ever been obtained from Burma, but shortly afterwards he learned that the acclaimed mammalogist and animal collector Guy C. Shortridge had secured a specimen on Mount Popa. Naturally, Pocock. I'm just not sure what to read now. I'm all nervous about everything.
What the hell did you just say? Never mind.
Lou, how would you say this name?
Oh, I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, well, yeah, you're right.
I'm right. It's Pocock. We got D-holes, Alpinus, and Pococks. I'm just all screwed up here. Was anxious to examine this unique example of an adult female, especially as Shortridge alleged that it only had 5 pair of teats. Jeez. Now I'm going into teats. Female dholes have 6 to 8 pairs and weighed only 19 pounds, unusually light for a dhole or a D-hole. However, after studying its skull uncovered at British Museum, Pocock recognized that it had been nothing more than an old, small domesticated dog. Canis familiaris. I did that one pretty well. Excuse me. With a high crown and short muzzle, but ironically, genuine Burmese dholes were obtained later, and in 1941, Pocock christened their subspecies C. a. adustus or adustus, a taxonomic classification still recognized today. There's a dingo, the identity of Australia's elusive yokin. Here we go. As for the yokin, this is still unexplained. Canine cryptid is a strange dog-like beast reputedly well known to Australian Aboriginals and farmers. Said to be approximately half the size of a full-grown dingo, with disproportionately long claws and stocky muscular build, and a very variable pelage, sometimes brindled, sometimes multicolored. A specimen has yet to be formally examined, so its identity remains uncertain. An unknown species, an odd type of feral domestic dog, a dingo canis dingo, a dog-dingo crossbreed, and even surviving mainland race of marsupial Tasmanian wolf, Thylacinus, whatever the hell that says, are among those identities on offer. If anyone reading this Shuker Nature article has further information concerning the yokin, I'd love to receive details. Well, there you go. So after that train wreck of an article, that's I don't even know. God, give me crayons and a book. I'll be fine. What the hell? Wow.
Don't be an asole.
Yeah. You D-hole.
You D-hole.
You and your alpinus.
You can't. Just stop.
All right. Here's another one that should have been probably on the news. Maybe I'll save it for the news on Friday.
Oh, goodness.
I'll save that one.
Oh, goodness.
Here's one that I have to cut off the top of because it's got these horrible little ads on the side that are, references.
Maggie says, can you read that again, please?
No.
I missed the bits from laughing.
No. Rewind.
Yeah, go back and reread.
You got to rewind. I'm not redoing that. Jeez. Chucky says I'm saving this episode. Yeah. God. There's got to be clips.
This has got to be a pieces episode.
Yeah, I know. I got to get Sheldon to make pieces again.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. This is from the Star, Daily Star. It says prankster ghost who pulled girl's hair. Mike Huberty, 46, founder of the American Ghost Walks, has long been a fan of ghost stories, but remains skeptical. A ghost hunter said that the story of a prankster spirit tormenting girls in a theater toilet was what convinced him that we're not alone in this world.
Really?
Mike Huberty, 46, founded American Ghost Walks and says he receives accounts of spooky encounters all the time. The Madison, Wisconsin resident whose business operates in 20 cities across the United States spoke exclusively to the Daily Star and said that the story he receives won't be added to the tours until they're investigated thoroughly. If somebody's just making something up or it's just an urban legend or I heard from my friend, that's not compelling, he said. Let's get past all that. Mike continued, I want to talk to people who've had an experience, even if it's not really that exciting. What makes it exciting is even if small things happen, you're like, wow, that's really uncanny. Mike pointed to one specific story that really made him believe, stemming from a theater in his hometown. One example was the Majestic Theater in Madison, he said. I got a story from a guy who was stage managing the Rocky Horror Picture Show when they used to have screenings there in the 1990s. It says he added they had a live cast and sing along with the movie every Saturday night. There was a green room and a dressing room where the actors get ready to go on stage to put on their makeup or costumes. The stage manager was telling me there was a particular ghost in there and that they used to nickname him Joe. The legend was that Joe was an actor there back when it was a vaudeville theater in the early 1900s before it was a movie theater. And Joe was heartbroken and offed himself in the theater. So now his spirit bothers the female actresses who were there pulling their hair, hiding their makeup and brushes and things like that. It's a pretty theater, though. It says he added, I was never able to find out anything about anyone who killed themselves inside the theater, but I did find people that were talking about it. Mike next heard about the story 14 years later when he was at a music conference and he got into a conversation with someone else who had heard about the Majestic. He said, she goes, well, sometimes we go into the girls' bathroom and there's somebody messing with us, pulling hair or hiding things on us, screwing around with the hand dryer, so we think that the women's bathroom might be haunted. That's interesting because this is 20 years after they were doing the Rocky Horror Picture Show. When they remodeled the building, the green room and the dressing room used to be below the stage where people would get ready. When they remodeled it, that's when they put the bathroom. The girls' room is in the exact same room as the dressing room was 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. 2 decades later, that ghost Joe is still picking on the ladies and trying to get their attention. Getting two people talking about the same place who don't know each other in the same location with the same type of phenomena, that's what I get excited about.
There you go.
That's really uncanny. Yeah, he's right. There you go. Well, I think that's a hell of a correlation, really, because yeah, I mean, sure, everybody has a story, and even though the stories could very well be valid, having that kind of congruity over 2 decades with two people unrelated that had the same experience, that's pretty powerful. All right, so let's go to the cryptid corner, and we're going to dig into some Sasquatch Chronicles blog because what?
No, I'm just as long as cryptid corner, D holes. I don't know.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of that going around here tonight.
So Troy W says, I spent summers at my grandparents' campground by Red Wing, Minnesota as a kid, and divers fixing the locks said they seen a catfish that was 6 foot long below the dam.
Oh,
no surprise there.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something, Troy. First of all, I'm actually a Red Wing native.
There you go.
And I grew up hearing the stories, especially of the Eisenhower Bridge. The stories were that as they were setting the footings, it used to be one of those spiral bridges and made out of wood. So you'd like go do a circle to get up to elevation and then cross and then do a circle on the other side to go down to the level of the road. And the stories going was when they put in the Eisenhower Bridge, which is in Red Wing, that the divers went down and they were shocked and they came up and would vow never to go back down there because they saw fish as big as sharks down there and they were afraid for their lives. And I grew up with that legend. I was like, wow, that's really incredible. And sure, I mean, there's got to be big lunkers down there. I'm sure there's sturgeon in the Mississippi. There's, of course, channel cats can get enormous. And any number of fish that could be, paddlefish are down there. I mean, there's any number of different species, and they certainly can get really big. So I'm not doubting that people maybe saw big fish, but that legend was one that I grew up with, and I was like always kind of proud of that. But then as I was traveling around, maybe a couple decades ago in different parts of the country, and doing the show, digging up different stories, I found that legend repeated and repeated and repeated.
Yeah.
Every town that had a bridge, when it was going to go into their river, the divers came up just terrified because there were these huge shark-sized fish down there, and vowed never to swim in there again, never to dive down again. And it became interesting to me because these legends, there's probably maybe one single source to this, but it just spread as if it's all these local experiences. And I think it's kind of akin to the jilted bride that every hotel has.
Right.
You know, she was left at the altar, and the guy ran away with a bridesmaid or something, and so
she killed herself.
Yeah, she offed herself, or the small child that fell down the elevator shaft at every hotel, and now the child haunts the halls, and so they become this repeating pattern. Now, I'm not saying that the phenomena couldn't very much be real, that people see a woman's spirit or they see a small child spirit or something, but it's just, then you get to the point where, is it people creating the experiences because that's their expectation, or is this real phenomena that exists independently of people's expectations? And so it's an interesting phenomena, but it comes up quite a bit in the paranormal that everybody kind of adopts these stories and makes it their own. So I don't know, maybe there was big fish down there and they did scare the divers, but I would just found it really interesting that so many different locations had that same story, and it's the same narrative, so I found that interesting.
So Marie Wellstead said, do you notice there's no more mermaid sightings? That's because they're really tasty on a grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've, regarding that, even here in Ponderay, as a matter of fact, Colleen Bowman, she's local to us. She's just up the road.
Yep.
Says there's sturgeon in Lake Ponderay as well. Absolutely, there is. And some sturgeons get huge.
Yeah.
They are a.
Are they indeterminate? That they just continue to grow?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and they live forever.
Yeah,
they live for like 200 years if you leave them alone. But then they're not that tasty anymore. Sure. But so yeah, there's a lot of large. And they're not just catfish, like the sturgeon, they grow as long as they can. Yeah. Even plecostomuses.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you throw them in the river, in the fresh water, they'll live in there, and they'll get huge.
James Radke says that would be a flathead catfish. Yeah, probably.
Maybe.
I just know we always grew up knowing them as channel cats, but they're catfish. Yeah. Very wild. Yeah. That's cool, Troy. That's kind of neat that you're familiar with the area. That's where I grew up.
There you go.
So let's go to the Sasquatch Chronicles now and see just what the heck's going on in the world of Bigfoot. And first off, we're going to the blog, Sasquatch Chronicles blog. Please check it out. Wes does a lot of work on there every day, posting stuff, and there's always brand new.
D-holes are not allowed.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever seen.
He's not approving.
I've never seen any D-holes over there, so you're probably safe. So let's get to the articles, and this is the blog over at SasquatchChronicles.com. March 29th is the first one. It retreated into the woods. A listener writes, long story short, I've had Sasquatch encounters since my wife and I built our house on 10 acres surrounded by hundreds of acres of forestry in northern Wisconsin. Been living there for 13 some years. I've seen them, tracked them, video and trail camera of numerous things about them, including eye shine footprints, tree formations, etc. Myself and my military brother of 22 years and 3 tours went out once years ago in winter and found where they were based after 2 hours of searching. Was driven out and left absolutely horrified at one point as all the sticks were being purposely snapped. A huge deep growl huff came from not 10 feet away and scared us half to death in pitch dark. They did not want us there. Other times include the early morning fall sighting, which was my very first on my driveway. Saw it clear as day and watched it retreat into the woods. Another one walked up to the edge of the woods at night while I was outside checking my septic light bulb and could hear it breathing. I've seen their eye glint watching me from outside from patio doors. I've spoken to a detective who saw one across the road nearby, a good friend who saw one coming out of the ditch on the highway close by, my father-in-law hearing them crash through the woods across the river, tree knocks, owl sounds that change into woot sounds. Look at that skull.
Oh, my goodness.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yikes. And that's it. Yeah. That's a lot of stuff. He packed a whole bunch of things into just a few paragraphs, but it sounds like he's got a lot to share.
He's got some time. We need to get him on the show.
We're just gonna go start sniping Wes's listeners. Yeah,
he's got mileage out of it already. He can give it to us. Thanks, Wes.
Yeah. No, it sounds like that guy would be very interesting to talk to.
Chucky Danger, kind of the same thing I was thinking to myself, Chucky. Chucky says septic light bulb at night.
I know.
Sounds very National Lampoonish. Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't be caught out there. No, I don't need to be out there at night if there's no light. I'm okay.
Yeah, I'll wait till daytime to check my septic light bulbs.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why you need a light bulb in the septic.
Well, there might be a septic house to keep the pumps running because mine has pumps.
Okay. So Jeff Clegg in the chat says, in 2005, I saw a Sasquatch cross the road in Grant Parish, Louisiana at dusk. It was the weirdest thing. Strangely, there's no Bigfoot lore from the area at all. It's not something that's mentioned.
Well, you know what? They migrate.
Well, they might. They probably have pretty extended ranges, much like a grizzly bear, but I don't know, Jeff, to be honest with you, I don't know of anywhere in the U.S. that doesn't have, in the continental U.S., that doesn't have sightings. I mean, literally, to my knowledge, like on the BFRO and their reports, the only state that doesn't have any sightings of Bigfoot is actually Hawaii. Yeah, every other state has Bigfoot claims or people seeing something. Now, is every one of them legit? Anybody's guess, but people have been seeing these things. I think it could be regional too. Of course, the skunk apes, different names.
Right.
But I don't know. I would be surprised if Louisiana, any area in Louisiana, didn't have sightings because, of course, they are very home at any.
Yeah.
In any kind of environment, whether it's swamps or mountains
and Florida's right there, so
it's all right around there.
It's all the same areas.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty fascinating, Jeff, that you saw that, and I would count yourself as pretty fortunate, really, because most people, even people that really, really like work to find them, will never see anything.
That's right. Yep.
And I think that sightings like that are going to be the next Patterson-Gimlin film, especially as dash cams become more prolific. Somebody's going to catch the literal crossing right in front of their car.
Right.
And it's going to be on dash cam, and everybody's, if they choose to release it, there's probably already somebody out there or people out there that have got dash cam footage. But, and that would be really interesting because it would be pretty, with having a roadway, you definitely have a metric that you can measure with. The road this is where it came from. We know the road is this wide. It crossed it in this many strides. This is how high my car sits. And this is where, where the level of the being was. I think that's going to lend an awful lot of information.
Right.
As soon as somebody comes out with something like that.
And that's actual scientific.
Yeah.
Because it's something you can measure.
Right. At least you have some comparative.
Yeah,
comparative metrics to work with.
James, is that Fedeke? James Fedeke just above says, I always wanted to see a Bigfoot. When I got my chance, I wanted to change my mind. Never been so scared in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's not even seeing them. As somebody says down a little bit farther, heard one, almost pooped myself.
Yeah.
So yeah. You don't have to see one to just get scared because it's there. Yeah.
No, I'm telling you.
I was breaking the law when I had my Bigfoot encounter, and if I wasn't, I would have never had the experience. Sad but true. Well, that's probably true too. Yeah.
Sure.
You're out doing something that you totally just don't expect it, and bang, it happens. Yeah.
And there it is. Yeah. Unfortunately, they kind of have their own timeline. They show up when they show up, and they do what they do. But I think they very intentionally want to be seen, and I don't understand the logic behind that, but I mean, obviously they could just wait till a car goes by and then cross.
Yeah.
But they don't.
They like, I think they like us talking about them.
Maybe they want to be fresh in our imaginations. Yeah. Makes us respect the wild places a little more. All right, so we're going to go to another one from Sasquatch Chronicles blog. And this is from March 29th. It retreated into the woods. And what?
Jeff says, fun fact, I went out of my way to meet a woman. The sighting was more exciting than the woman.
I'm sorry to hear that, Jeff. Thank you, Maggie. Appreciate it. Holy Diver. I live in Banff, Alberta, and did a lot of hiking, hundreds of miles. I heard a lot of sounds that I could not place a lot of time. I did feel like I was being watched, but I was never scared. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and granted, I will say this, that of the sightings that people have, generally they're never, mostly not aggressive. I think there are, again, there's always that danger though, because as Wes says, you wouldn't go up and pet a grizzly. Right. You just see a grizzly and go, oh, that's a grizzly. Good thing it's over there.
Well, there are those people.
Yeah, I saw some video of some idiot following one that came out of hibernation. He's walking right behind it, and then he grabbed the back.
Stupidest thing you could do.
Yeah, I don't know whatever happened to the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I could probably tell you, steaming coiler.
He's now helping the forest in new ways. He's fertilizing. Yeah.
James Fedeke goes on to say, I was trapped on a peninsula for a while, almost swam across the lake at night. Yeah, well, he mentioned he was terrified.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. I'd probably want to swim too, except there's lots of visuals that state witnesses that state they swim great. They swim brilliantly. They're seen apparently swimming over to Vancouver Island quite a bit, or at least from time to time. I can't say quite a bit, but yeah, I guess they swim just fantastically. If that's true, then I'm not sure the water would have helped you. It might have been even more of a disadvantage, but generally speaking, I think they like to just keep people intimidated and get you to move out, get out.
This is my house.
It's just pressure.
Yep.
All right, it retreated into the woods. A listener writes, long story short,
oh boy,
I've had Sasquatch encounters since my wife and I built our house on...
That's the one you just read.
Oh, I pulled it up twice. Wow, I closed the last one. I did it twice. Well, there you go. It's so good I had to read it twice. Let's go to the next one from March 28th. Something big enough to move large trees from side to side. A listener writes, in 1979, I was 15 years old. A couple of friends of mine heard that there were strange things going on in a community outside Mount Vernon, Virginia. A friend of mine, John, knew a guy, Dave, actually don't know his name, had experienced many things in this area. So one day on October of 1979, four of us, John, Dave, his dog, Strat, and I, headed up to Mount Vernon to see what we could experience. Well, we arrived at this location early evening while there was still daylight and explored the surrounding woods. Now, this is an older community and has a golf course and 20-foot wide creek running through and around the community. The street where we parked is a dead end. On the left are homes with woods behind them.
Oh my.
Straight ahead is the creek with woods, and to our right, above a drainage ditch, is one of the putting greens and trees. Well, Dave took us to the section of woods straight ahead of us, across the creek. The section was about 100 yards away from the car. Dave was showing us tree breaks, bedding areas, and foot castings. Some of the tree breaks were really high and in a straight row. The footprint castings were next to the creek. It was pretty exciting and almost unbelievable seeing these things in Mount Vernon, Virginia. We stayed in the woods looking around until it got dark and we headed back to the car. While we were walking back to the car, we noticed more people showing up by our car. I had no clue, but apparently this area is a hot spot in town. There are around 6 of us now. Dave and John went by the homes waiting for something to happen, while Strat and I stayed by the Jeep. It was around 10 to 10:30. I was talking to Strat and told him that we weren't going to hear anything tonight. And when you say that, you know something's going to happen. Well, we're leaning against the Jeep, talking and facing the homes and woods when all of a sudden we heard a loud roar coming out of the woods behind the homes. This thing sounded like a lion, bear, and dinosaur all in one. I got wide-eyed and stared 30 feet up in the trees. The trees were about 40 to 50 yards away. As I'm staring, I see John, Dave, and the dog take off into the woods. The roar was so loud that I thought it was 30 feet tall and right in front of us. Scared the crap out of us. Strat and I said, let's get out of here. We jumped into the Jeep and tried to get out of there. We were so scared we couldn't start that Jeep to save our lives. Like the movies, nothing goes right when all hell breaks loose.
Right.
We finally gathered ourselves and got out of the Jeep, and chatted with the other people. And that was it. They said I was about to laugh and cry at the same time. It definitely shakes you up. Okay, so the roar was it. A few minutes later, John and Dave come out of the woods and said they didn't see anything. From what I can remember, the dog never went into the woods. If he did, he came out before the guys did. Things quieted down a little after that. Well, as the night went on, one of the gentlemen who was there with us was a Native American, big guy from what I remember, around 6'4". He came with his wife. He was a super nice guy, telling us stories of him seeing a family of Sasquatch walking along the creek, and one was over 8 foot tall, he said. He stated that he saw them many times. Let me paint a picture of how we're standing. Strat and I are facing the putting green, leaning on the Jeep. Mr. Native American is facing us, and his back is to the putting green. He's talking, and all of a sudden the trees behind him started shaking from side to side like crazy. These trees were about as big as a man's thigh. Oh my God. We jumped behind the Jeep in pure fear, watching the trees as we hide behind the Jeep. Mr. Tough Guy Native American walked up the drainage ditch into a curtain of darkness towards the swaying trees and disappeared. His wife was screaming at him to come back. It was like another movie. This guy is going to die. And he disappeared into that curtain of darkness. The trees stopped swaying, and we didn't hear a thing. A few moments later, he finally came out and told us he saw something running along the stretch of trees. And this all happened about 20 to 25 feet away from us. How can something big enough to move large trees side to side barely make a sound on the move? Well, as the night went on, nothing else happened, but we did hear the stories of the people that lived there and their experiences. One guy was working in his detached garage shop and listening to Elvis when something was hitting the side of the garage. He ran out yelling and saw a Sasquatch about 30 feet away with a piece of firewood in his hand. Apparently, he was throwing the logs at his garage. Another lady had a muddy handprint on her window that the police came out and documented the account. There were other stories as well, but I don't remember them. There is one article in the newspaper that does share the 9-month stretch of Sasquatch sighting and experiences in this area. That's it in a nutshell. Again, thank you, Wes, for all you do. Wow, that's pretty powerful, huh?
Yeah, crazy.
Again, what are they doing? Why did they do it? Well, maybe they're interested in us. Maybe it really is the curiosity thing, right, Don?
Yeah. It's always, we always say, we're their entertainment.
Yeah.
They like to watch us when we come into their area. They like to go, ha, 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 look at that guy. A hairless ape over there trancing around. Making so much noise, you could shoot him in the night.
Yeah. Well, I think they probably do marvel at how clumsy we are.
Do.
It's
like, oh my God, what are they, Sandra Bullock?
Is she clumsy?
Oh, she's a klutz.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
She's a klutz. She's awesome, but she's a klutz.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think they do, and it stands to reason. And I've said this many times on the show, but if you grew up and all you ever saw was forest 99% of the time,
right,
then probably when people pull up at their stuff and it's so different, it'd be like us watching a UFO pull up. It'd be like,
right,
because it's just this incredibly different experience than what we've ever had. And you watch it and you'd be curious to see what they're doing. What are they doing? Why are they doing it? And perhaps it's just that's mentally stimulating.
Ruthie says, Don, you're so right. They think, why are you wearing clothes? Me? Because I'd scare them.
Don would frighten the hair off him. I think I would too. I'm not building myself up in this one. There's a reason I have clothes on. The more the better. James, I searched everywhere for YouTube for a Bigfoot roaring, and I found one day that had my phone volume all the way up, and it roared. My eyes literally watered. Yeah. There's no question.
He's got a story to tell.
Who, James?
Yeah, James got a story to tell.
Yeah, well, James, if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast,
that's what I said.
Email me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com, and we can figure out a time if you're interested. Yeah. If you're interested in sharing it, there's never any pressure that any of you. If you just want to connect with me and share your story, you're welcome to do that as well. I've often corresponded with people going through things that didn't want to be guests on the show,
yeah.
And that's fine. I mean, I this isn't all about just, hey, help me make my show better. But of course, any of these stories are incredible. And here's the thing. Everybody, and this is something I've really learned since doing the show, is that every account gives me something new.
Right.
Every account that somebody shares, and here's why, because we all see things uniquely different. There's some detail that you may have noticed in your experience that maybe nobody else has ever stated. And it will be, this epiphany moment for anybody that's really looking into it. And so that's why I figure the more people that come forward and share their experiences, the better it is for those of us that are trying to understand the phenomena, because we're running blind in a lot of this stuff. And again, the paranormal happens when it happens. It doesn't have a clock. It doesn't have a schedule. It just happens. So if you're one of those people that have experienced things and you're okay talking with it, again, I don't have any rule that I make people identify themselves. If you want to use a pseudonym while I interview you, that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
That doesn't bother me at all. I think that people deserve their privacy. It's just an honor to hear people want to come on and share their experiences, because everything you see in your own unique way, and you may recall something about it that's totally unique to your experience that nobody's heard before. And that's happened to me many times. Sometimes people say, I noticed this and then this. I was like, oh my God, that makes perfect sense. Things that I'd never considered before, much like the questions of the week on the Discord. It's just the same thing. So if you want to share your stories and you don't mind being a guest on the podcast, by all means, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. The more the better. But if you just want to share it with me, I'd be happy to hear from you either way. So reach out via email. Any of you, and that goes for any of you listening, not just James, but any of you listening, because I think we all have experiences. Like everybody's had some kind of experiences going, I don't know what to do with that. That's so weird. I can't make heads or tail of what just happened, but something happened.
Right.
So,
yeah, he says I'm a little embarrassed, but it's so weird that if we weren't, I'd still be wondering if they were out there, because I like to push myself out of the comfort zone.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. My hat's off to anybody that goes out there willingly looking for these things. I've been on some investigations into Sasquatch activity and just research areas. I've been on a few of those, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I've been on paranormal investigations as well, and I really, really like that. I'm not the most physically fit person, so the Sasquatch stuff is...
I would physically fit into a dining room table with a pizza trying to fitness in my mouth.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's the kind of fitness I can understand. Fitness in my mouth. So, but anyway, I just I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of our journey tonight.
Oh, wow.
We've kind of hit the end of the road.
Wow.
It goes fast here on the Paranormal Portal. Did something else come up?
Oh, yeah, as a matter of fact... Well, there was two spirits. One was right in front of you.
Yeah.
And one was right in that corner, almost in that corner behind you.
Oh, that happens.
Yeah, I think it stay the hell over there too.
Yeah, well, go visit Don too. He loves you guys.
Okay.
No, it was for 33 seconds.
Yeah, I was there for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I had the screen paused, but I wanted to talk, so I couldn't keep it paused anymore.
No, it's okay. But that's going to be the journey for tonight. Thank you all for joining us, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week.
Birdie, you're absolutely right.
What did Birdie say?
All pizza is a personal pan pizza if you eat the whole thing. You damn right. That's called fitness.
Fitness in Don's mouth. Yeah, I guess.
We'll just skip past that one.
Yeah, let's go. Let's move forward quickly. But Don, anything in closing? This could take a while.
What's it called? Teespring. Go buy merch.
What's it called?
Go buy merch. Go. We love it when you buy merch. We need to work on some new designs. Yes, but
yeah.
there's some.
Pull some that aren't moving at all.
Yeah. So
we got to rotate the stock, but the stock is still pretty good. You know, there's a few things over there you might really like.
You know what I mean?
The link is in the description, folks, if you want to help support the show. It really does mean a lot to us, and it really does keep the lights on here.
I should hit the thumbs up, and so should everybody else.
Yeah, if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do. It helps keep the lights on, too.
And Brenda Joe, you're more than welcome. Of course, you're always welcome here.
Absolutely.
And, I hope things will be fine, I'm sure.
Yeah. Again, we're certainly sorry for your loss, but just know that our prayers are with you and yours and to anybody out there that's suffering right now and hurting. We love you all. I mean, literally, we do. And that's the closing to every show, but there's a reason I close every show with the words that I do, because I want you guys to know that you guys are incredible. You're amazing. The portal is only what it is because of all of you, and that's the honest to God's truth.
Good night, Mom.
Good night, Mom. But you guys have made this show just incredible in so many ways. I love doing these live shows, even though, we have a smaller community, but we have a great community. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. So please, if you wouldn't mind, spread the word about the shows. Feel free to share them, hit the likes. If you're not watching it live, please leave a comment. Those are things all stimulate the algorithm to recommend it more. It's called interaction. Stimulate might not have been the best word. I got to watch my language with Don, because anything can roll into the gutter in a hurry. So,
oh, boy.
But it does help.
Hijos and soles.
Yeah, it does help a bunch. So if you wouldn't mind, and also watch for the podcast. They're released every week, Monday.
Yep.
That's always available on any of the podcasting platforms out there, whether it's iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, TuneIn, or even TuneIn, Google, Pandora, Stitcher, Castbox, Podbean, etc. We're out there. So look for Paranormal Portal. And you can find those podcast episodes from season 4 right here on our YouTube channel.
There you go.
There's a playlist. It's called Podcast Episodes. It's right near the top.
My goodness.
Pull up the YouTube page. So that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. So in closing, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. We'll see you again on Friday. Be back for another live show then, so I hope you'll join me. Saturday, I got a guest coming on. It's Nick Valente. He's going to come on and talk Dogman and cryptids. So it's going to be 2 hours of Nick Valente and me. And so I hope you guys will join us. And I guess Sheldon will be here too on Saturday. So that'll be Saturday night. We'll do that. So watch for that coming up. Otherwise,
Ciao, Bella.
What?
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao, Bella. Bellissima. All right. Je t'aime. And we'll see you on Friday. So good night, everybody.